Welcome to our presentation and demo of our software, which is formerly known as the Survey System and Data Aggregator software. This software is basically an amazing dynamic multi-purpose application where depending on your role in the company, you can do different functions. So if you're a manager, you can create surveys, you can create questions and put them in surveys, you can create tasks, and then you can assign those surveys and assign those tasks to employees. If you're an employee, you can view the surveys that the manager assigned to you, and you can take those surveys, and then you can also view the tasks that your manager assigned you, and you'll basically be able to know what work is expected of you. So let's go through this demo. I think once I show you the functionality of the system, you'll really have an idea of the immense potential that this software has. So we're going to start with the functionalities of the manager because the manager probably has the most functionality in the system out of the three actors. So as a manager, you can sign up. Now, this message automatically shows up because it's just another reminder that you have to select the user who you are right here. So it's very important that you either select whether you're a manager, an employee, or system admin. In this case, we're a manager, so we'll select the manager. And in this hypothetical scenario, we'll have one of my teammates, Yuan Song, as the manager. ysong@ufl.edu. And then a simple username will suffice, YY and 123. Now, it's very important that you make sure that these passwords match or else you can't go further. See, because I just typed in 124, look what happens if I do that. The passwords do not match. Please try again. And then you have to sign up all over again. 1, 2, 3. All right, submit this. New manager successfully added. Great. So now manager's in the system and we can log in. OI 1, 2, 3. Login successful. Okay, great. So this is the manager work center. And here, I mean, what this really just shows you is the plethora of tasks and functions that a manager can carry out with our software. The manager can create questions, use those questions to create a survey, and then use those surveys and assign them to their employees. The manager can also create tasks here where the manager would write a detailed description of what the task is and then also assign those tasks. And the survey, and this is where the kind of the data aggregator part of our system comes into play, is the survey report here, because the manager can click the survey report and view all kinds of interesting information that the software gathered, including the total number of projects, the total number of surveys, and whatever. So we'll get to that. So first, let's say you're a manager and you don't have any questions created in the system. So we're gonna have to create some questions here. So you go here. Now, these instructions are very important. It's basically these instructions reiterate that as a manager, you must write very concise, very clear questions. So it's very important that if it's a multiple choice question, you clearly label the choices. You clearly label the answer. The answer must be A, B, C, or D if it's multiple choice. If it's yes or no, it's very important that you follow the guidelines with that kind of question and saying, please answer the following question with either yes or no. So that's basically that's the reason we have this pop-up box. But anyway, let's delve into it. If you were to type in UF, it's tempting to do that, but you can't, right? Because the answer must be A, B, C, or D. It's very vital that the answer is the letter choice, because that way the answers are easily viewed and it's very easy to check the answers against what the survey takers responded. So it has to be either A, B, C, or D. So in this case, the answer is D. Add the question. The question is successfully added. Great. Let's try a yes or no question. This is almost like true or false. Yes or no, you can conceivably use that as a true or false question. So yes or no, the sky is blue. So again, in the answer choices, if you answered something other than yes or no, like if you said either, and then tried to add that question, you get this dialog. You entered an incorrect answer. You have to enter either yes or no. And again, this is just it's important to do this so that the answers are very clear and it's very easy to coordinate the answers with the questions and which answers are correct and which answers are incorrect. So, sky is blue. Yes, it is. Add question, successfully added question, and we go back. So after you created questions, now you're ready to create a survey because in the cache, our software has saved certain questions and we're ready to use those questions to make a questionnaire. So let's create a survey. This notice pops up because it's very important so that you don't have a massive headache. If you want to delete a question, you have to delete the entire question. You have to highlight the entire question and then delete it. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But as you can see, all of the questions that you created automatically show up in this box. So let's give this a title. Let's just say, for generic reasons, survey 1. Question 1, add that question to the survey. Look how it shows up. And see, and again, this is the importance of clearly labeling your question like this, because this is with the exception of the answer showing up, this is how the question is going to show up in your survey. So, we can add this question too. Now let's say this. Look, question 2 is kind of stupid. Yes or no, the sky is blue. Like, who cares? Well, it's very easy to delete that, but you have to highlight the whole thing and then delete it from the survey. So that's what you do. Set status, this can really be anything. It can be new, just started. New is probably the easiest, new, finished, whatever. And then expiration date. So you can't leave this blank, you have to choose something. If it's not urgent, you could make it like 5 years in the future. Let's say for practical purposes, let's just make the expiration on this Halloween, 10/31/2017. Create survey. Surveys of 1 question is successfully added. All right, and so then we'll go back. So we've created questions. We've used those questions to create a survey. Now we're ready to assign the survey. Now, before doing this, we did not create an employee section, and now we can start assigning surveys. So assign a survey, and here we go. We have our survey, and we have our employees. So we add an employee. Now, the employees that you add here are the employees that you want to assign a survey to. So you assign an employee here, and then you choose the survey that you want to assign. So here's the survey that we're going to assign, and the surveys are successfully assigned to employees, okay? So then, just to reiterate, it's assigned successfully, and then you go back. So that's the survey center. That is the creating questions, and basically creating inquisitions for your workforce population. Now that is taken care of, there are added functionalities. This software is great because it doesn't just stop. There are plenty of softwares where they just stop at creating surveys, but our software goes a few steps further. You can also create and assign tasks, right? So here as a manager, let's create a task. Let's just say this project title is financial prospectus review, right? And it's read the financial prospectus on JP Morgan, right? We have that. This is the project title. This is the description, and you create this. Project is added successfully. You go back. Now, when you assign this project, to be clear, the employee doesn't necessarily perform this project through the software. Basically, all of the time, the employee is going to perform this project outside of the software in their job setting. But this is a very helpful, very convenient way to remind employees of what work they need to accomplish, right? So again, here we have it. Employees that you want to assign this project to. You add the employee, and then we're going to assign this financial prospectus review to this employee. So we add this, and it's successfully assigned, and then we assign it. So then now that that poor employee will have to read through a lot of very dry, boring financial information. All right, but now it's assigned. So we go back, we've assigned a task, we've done all of that. Finally, we can view survey report. It's not going to be very meaningful at this point, but basically it shows what it shows you is it shows you your surveys and the total staff number. You have to divide this by 2. And so the total staff number is 2. You have Max Harris, and what it shows your name, it shows your username, and the manager shows the name and the username. And here are the projects. You have the financial prospectus review that you created. So you go back, and so this is just a great view of all of the functionalities that the manager can do. But now that the manager has assigned surveys and now that the manager has assigned tasks, why don't we shift perspectives here and see what it's like from the point of view of the employee? You log out, and then now you can log in as an employee. Here I am, MH123, log in successful. And here, the employee tab is more simple than the manager tab, because the main function of the employee aspect of our software is to be able to view the surveys that were assigned to us and view the projects that were assigned to us. So in this hypothetical scenario, Yuan Wing assigned this survey to me. And I can see, okay, this is my survey, this is the deadline, and what's the status? It's new. Okay, so that means, okay, so what this manager has communicated to me is I have to do this survey, I have to do it by Halloween, and it's new. You take it, and then here's the survey here. And again, see how important it was to clearly label the choices? You do that, and then you're able to publish this to a text file. And once the survey is published to a text file, it's easily printed, and you can take the survey at your desk. So go back, and then so that was, cancel that, and then you can also look at your assigned projects, right? And this is super helpful because you log in as an employee and you see, okay, my manager, you look at this, it's like, okay, my manager wants me to do this. Now, the description can be as long as possible, but this is just a very helpful quick review. What do I have to do? A financial prospectus review. I need to read the financial prospectus on JP Morgan. Okay. So as an employee, it's very convenient. I can see all the surveys that I have to take, and I can see all the projects that I have to do, both of which I will accomplish most likely in reality in the office. The last part of our software that I want to show you, or the last 2 parts rather, is the system admin role, and as well as our object IO write and read functionalities. So let's start with admin. Now, system admin, this is a functionality that we hard-coded in a file. If we log in as a system admin as Yuhiding123, you're able to see the employee and you're able to ban them. And if you hit ban, it basically erases that object file. Now, another interesting aspect that we have, or another implementation of the software, is our functionality of the write and read object file. This is our object IO. Now, if I sign up as a manager, I can write that to the object file. And then let's say if I close out, it's saved now because I wrote it to the object file. So if I close out, but then if I run again, as a manager, I can then read from the object file, YY123, and then be able to log in. And so the wonderful aspect of this software is that it contains these read object file and write object file functionalities that enable you to save what you have done before. It kind of mimics a database, whereas because we weren't allowed to use a database, we of course used object IO instead. The main functionality with our read and write file object IO is our ability to save usernames and passwords. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you for watching the demo of our survey system, survey taking and data aggregator system. We hope that you've enjoyed the presentation, and we hope that you will consider implementing this amazing software in your company. It's certainly very convenient, would certainly save you a lot of time, and frankly, it's an amazing tool of business. All right, thank you very much.